Welcome, everybody. This is the first ever episode of the Culture Sac podcast. This is the four guys just talking about pop culture. Basically, what we're going to be doing is every single week on Fridays, we'll be uploading a video basically of all the biggest news items of the week, and we'll be discussing it. This could be of any type of any type of medium or coverage. It could be anime, it could be video games, it could be movies, it could be entertainment, like we talk wrestling here as well. So this is going to be a very exciting podcast for everybody. I hope you guys can join us every week on Friday. I'm Marbo. I have a YouTube channel. I just started like 3 months ago. I've been doing a couple of videos. No. So I'm very excited. On top of me, we have Jeremy. Jeremy, I want you to introduce yourself.
What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. I hope everybody's having a good week. And this is our first ever episode. I'm excited. This is three of my closest friends. And to my right is my sidekick, my partner in crime, my lookalike, my stunt double, Mr. Eric Rivero. How you doing, my buddy?
What's going on, boys? So, as Marco said, he pretty much gave you a preview about this podcast. This podcast is literally just four homies chopping it up, talking about whatever passes by their mind. You might see us go off script a couple times just because that's in us. You know, we're here trying to just chill and talk. So, one thing I can say is below me, because he's a bottom and I'm the top, is he's a
That was
bottom
the
guy.
funniest thing about all this is that it's all different orders. For me, on top of me is Marco. This side is Jeremy. This is Eric.
Damn, you
Yeah,
probably got
that's a
real
funny thing,
confused.
bro.
You got real confused. Like,
Yeah.
Nah, that's fucking Jeremy.
Nah, but to the bottom of me is my best friend, my partner in crime since we were first graders. This is my best friend Brandon. He goes by the name Camo. So here he is.
Yeah. Guys, you can call me Bamo because Brandon, Camel, put them together, you get Bamo.
I like the way your room looks.
Thank you, bro. It's hopefully we get a sponsorship soon one day with the brand or something,
Yeah.
Whatever comes first.
I hope, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, so we can start now. This week was actually a pretty big week in terms of entertainment. CinemaCon, which is a massive event for all movies, which all exhibitors go to. Exhibitors are the movie theaters. So you're gonna see AMC, obviously Regal Cinema, like all those, and all those movie studios join every single year to this event called CinemaCon, and every day for the week, basically, a studio presents their upcoming movies. So on Monday we had Sony. On Tuesday, I believe we had Warner Brothers. Wednesday, we had Disney, I believe. Thursday, we had Universal. And I think today was Lionsgate and Paramount. But obviously, the biggest thing I think of the week was the Flash trailer that came out. And it came out before a screening of the Flash movie, which they premiered to a bunch of critics. But yeah, no, the Flash trailer came out. I know that was your topic, Brandon. Is there anything you want to say regarding the Flash?
Yeah. So for me, I watched the trailer a few times. I think I saw it like about 3 times.
Okay.
Just to see if I saw any Easter eggs. Obviously, there was a few bat suits that they had included. Not
Right.
obviously just that rubber neck suit that they had in the late 80s and early 90s. That I know you feel the type of way about that, Eric. But
Definitely.
yeah, as far as like the trailer, I'm really hoping that they do some crazy like Easter eggs and a whole bunch of stuff. It's a little sad that they don't have Grant Gustin,
Right.
into the Flash trailer because I mean he carried the DC in the DC universe in the CW
Right.
studios. But yeah, as far as anything else, I'm hoping, that this movie is great. As far as like the critics said, they said that it was a really great movie. It was pretty like well balanced. And Ezra Miller did a really good job. And yeah, let's just hope,
Question,
for the best.
Brandon. Question: What's up
It's,
with the multiple Batmans? I know you have. There's Ben
so
Affleck. You have, if I'm not correct, you have Michael Keaton as well
Yeah, in the
playing as
trailer.
Batman in the
Yeah, and
trailer.
yeah.
yeah, so
What
in
do
the
they tie
trailer,
in with the Flash in the story?
so
Obviously,
as
we're all
far
familiar
as
with the
what
Flash.
I know, yeah, so as far as I know, it could be like some type of like alternate dimensions and stuff, kind of like how the Spider-Verse did,
Different timelines.
where they had, yeah, different timelines. So one, the Ben Affleck one could be, like a certain timeline because, no, Barry went back in time and, it caused the break. And the other Batman is the Michael Keaton one, which, I don't know how they're gonna explain it. I really hope they do,
Right.
because this is gonna be like the first like DC movie in a very long time that's connecting like, the big major characters.
Eric.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, here's the interesting part. I feel like this movie itself is an anomaly. So think of it like this, right? As we know, this goes all the way to the director, Andy Muschietti.
Hmm.
Before this, his catalog wasn't anything crazy. His catalog was horror movies, It Too, and he did a couple of indie picks, nothing crazy. So the one thing that was interesting about that was the fact that the franchise was an amazing. Like I would say, would you guys say that it was the last movie that like did was horror wise in the genre was a box office success that it sold that well?
It, I think.
I think anything Stephen King is amazing. So
No, but like in terms of box office, I believe, it did like 700 something million, right? I'm gonna look. Yeah, it did
Yeah,
701
yeah.
million dollars, and that came out, I want to say, in
it all
2017. I'm.
Yeah, so it was so interesting to
Yeah.
me that they picked Andy Muschietti to be in charge of this, only because of the fact that he doesn't have a big catalog to his name. He doesn't have a big he doesn't have a crazy track record. So it was kind of cool to see how or not cool per se, but interesting that they relied on this guy to make this Flash movie. You guys remember Ezra Miller was announced as the Flash in 2014. The original Flash movie was supposed to come out in 2018. That would have been 1 year after we graduated from high school. It's 2023,
It's been
you
nine
know?
years. 9 years.
So it's an insane amount of time has passed by. So, it's cool to see how a director adapts to such a big franchise as The Flash and completely changed genres in the aspect of now it's a superhero genre. Um, the one thing that I enjoyed in the trailer was there's definitely a lot going on. You could definitely see that in typical Flash fashion, he's gonna make a mess somehow. It's gonna go back to how he tries to save his mom from that big catastrophe of her of reverse flash sliding on the block, if you know what I mean. So,
I agree. Yeah.
but I definitely think one thing that's pretty cool about all this, man, is they took a chance, they rolled the dice, and this movie there's so many people that are coming out. I remember I stayed up till like 2 a.m. when everybody finished watching the movie. At CinemaCon because they a couple influencers and a couple people that are part of the whole movie review business are able to go to CinemaCon and see that movie. And these movie critics, man, they've been so hard on DC lately, and to see how well I had somebody on Twitter, I forgot who it was. They literally tweeted, "This is the best superhero movie since The Dark Knight." Talking about Marvel and DC, because he's talking about this just being a cinema success, which was really really interesting. We had Michael Keaton back as Batman. One thing that was interesting, I don't know if you guys picked up on the trailer, with Michael Keaton. He's old, obviously, because time passes, but he was kicking a lot of ass. And I definitely think one thing that was interesting, guys, was they showed a lot of they really focused. I definitely think we're gonna get more Michael Keaton action in this compared to Ben Affleck's Batman.
Oh yeah.
They've already talked
Yeah.
about that, I think. But it
for
was cool
sure.
because when they're in Michael Keaton's Batcave, they showed a couple different cows. They showed a blue and gray suit, an all black suit from the original Tim Burton films. They
The
showed
one
a
in the
bunch of
middle.
stuff that was pretty cool. Yeah, they also showed one thing that was pretty cool was how they showed. I was wondering how they were gonna change his personality. Let's be honest. Michael Keaton's Batman is iconic just because of how genre bending it was for a superhero movie at that time. Because Tim Burton likes to take a lot of chances and he likes to show his creativity when it comes to his work. He's really good about world building, and with this movie, you could definitely see that we're gonna get a different kind of Batman with Michael Keaton. He was a lot more serious, a lot more. He showed that badass part of Batman that people like. You know what I mean? Like that's what people want to see in
Jeremy,
Batman.
so your opinions on the trailer? On the trailer itself? It excited you or what? What's
No,
going on?
I'm really excited for the trailer. I think this movie looks promising. It looks really promising. Like I said, that director, that's probably gonna be my only concern, like how I told Eric with the background. But I think it's gonna be very cool. I really want to see that whole Batman multi different universes and how that's gonna play out. And I'm also a huge fan of end credit scenes, so those are always gonna be cool to watch. A lot of time passed and a lot of I feel like this movie has to be perfect. If we waited this long for a DC movie of this caliber, from what people have been saying in the
Yeah,
reviews, this has to be an almost perfect 10 or a perfect 10 movie.
I mean, a lot of people are saying it was refreshing. It was a refreshing take on the superhero genre,
Yeah,
which was pretty dope to see.
the director choice though, we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be very balanced, I feel. But I was gonna tell you, Marco, since you asked me first, I wanted to ask you, what's your opinion? What's your initial thoughts on the trailer? What do you think about Michael Keaton returning, Batfleck being back, Ezra Miller's performance? People are saying that this was a very, very good performance from Ezra Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, what are your thoughts?
Uh, Gee, where do I begin? Well, I'm actually glad you brought up the whole timeline with the Flash movie. Because if I'm correct, I believe they announced this movie before they even started the show, and now
In Comic Con, yeah.
the movie is going to release after the show ended. So that's kind of
Finally.
a
Yeah.
that's it. So this movie has been in development hell. I know this movie was originally written by Goldstein and I forgot the other guy's name, but I know they wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming, and originally this movie was supposed to be like a low tier street level movie with the Flash, which that was actually something I was
Yeah.
very excited for, especially for like a first Flash movie. And when they said they were gonna do Flashpoint, I'll be honest, I was a little concerned because for a Flash movie, for that to be the first one, I thought was a little worrying. And then they brought Andy Muschietti, which I'm actually glad you brought him up too, because I was gonna say that his background is horror, but Sam Raimi directed Spider-Man. James Wan did
Exactly.
Aquaman.
Exactly.
Right, like the thing about horror directors that are so good is that they know a lot about um, like timing and like the thing with horror is that in my opinion it's the most it's the genre that really showcases a filmmaker's expertise in the actual craft of of the movies, right? And so to bring that guy in, and then after he did it, I thought was a great choice. So when this trailer came
Yeah.
out, I watched it like 7 times. It was incredible. I loved it. I loved every second of this trailer.
Enjoyed it.
No, yeah, it was great. I love the fact that they brought Ben Affleck back. He's going. I know that Michael Keaton's gonna be. Michael Keaton's basically gonna be like the co-star of this movie.
It
And
feels that way for sure. Yeah.
yeah, especially after what's going on with Ezra, it makes sense why you're gonna have you're gonna have Michael Keaton. One thing we haven't talked about is Supergirl. I think Supergirl, she looks
Yeah.
incredible in the trailer, and not only that, from a lot of the reactions, apparently she steals the show. Apparently she looks incredible in this movie, and she did a great job. And you're right. No, this movie. Listen, for about a year and I think a year and a half, I want to say, the reaction so far has been, in terms of the test screenings, have been this is the best DC movie since The Dark Knight. Right? This has been the best movie.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's been described as a Back to the Future meets No Way
As-
Home type movie around there. And honestly, that gets me very excited. This looks to be the best live action DC. No, I'll correct myself. The best live action comic book movie of the year. I know Guardians is coming out, and that looks to have also good reviews, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, no, this trailer, man, this trailer really blew all my expectations. I loved every second of this trailer. And especially, listen, this is a great marketing by. It's great marketing by Warner Brothers because they released the trailer and then the next day all the social media reactions came of it. So, and
my god,
yeah, it's genius marketing. But yeah, no, that's my opinions on the trailer. Looks incredible. Also, Batfleck looks really good. Like I've always wanted a Batman to kind of be like in a fantastical environment, because obviously we've seen a bunch of Batman in a realistic setting,
in the dark Grammy noir.
right? So to have a Batman really like in this type of movie, doing the type of acrobatic moves that he's doing, I thought it's incredible. And then,
So one thing that's pretty dope is I kind of feel like this movie was just supposed to be like an entry level type of movie for DC, and it was rumored to have a trilogy, like we were saying earlier. So we go from that to now this movie is hinging on DC's success for the future. One thing that I wanted to bring up to you guys that I feel like we're not talking about enough. This movie was rumored to reset the whole DC universe, right, boys?
yeah,
Yeah.
But what's
Supposed to be
interesting
like
is
a brand new start of something.
yeah.
new.
So what's interesting is that they're still coming out with Aquaman 2 in December. So I want to know how this takes place. I want to know how this takes play into DC as a whole.
I just think I think they just screwed up. I just think that Aquaman, because the first one made $1 billion, they obviously had to make a sequel, but every other movie was failing, so they had to restart. And obviously Discovery bought Warner Brothers, so they needed to restart again. But at that point they already made Aquaman, so they had to release it, and it's just wasting money.
Sure.
They have to release the movie.
Yeah, I don't even know. They already announced the release date for it and everything. I think December something.
No,
December 14th.
it's coming out. It's coming out in December, but they have to release it because they spent so much money on it. And the last one made $1 billion, so they're banking on the next one to make just as much, or probably more. So the Flash wasn't the only thing that they showcased at CinemaCon. In fact, there's another movie coming out, that's coming out very soon, and apparently they showed it to the critics. And so far, it looks to be very good. It looks to be the best of the trilogy that it's in. It's an MCU movie. It's the latest Guardians of the Galaxy movie that's coming out very, very soon. The reactions for it so far have been...
Thanks, Freddie.
Yeah, the reactions for it... Apparently, this is the most emotional Marvel movie that they've made. Gunn apparently knocked it out of the park again. And from the trailers, I mean, again, the trailers are great for it. The posters have been incredible. Gunn has not missed at all. Every single movie he's made, every show he's made in terms of like the superhero space has been... I'm sorry? He has not... Yeah, he has not missed. He's done very good, and it looks like he's going to continue with this movie. You guys have any opinions on just this upcoming movie?
Yeah, I definitely feel like Jeremy had something to say. So let's let Jeremy take the baton on this first.
Go ahead.
I was literally watching the trailer today, and I just love how beautifully James Gunn makes his movies. Like, from Guardians of the Galaxy 1 to 3. I don't think we haven't seen the third movie yet. Those movies are just perfectly made. I think they're beautifully made. And this last movie is gonna be a bitter end to supposedly two characters.
Don't say
even
it.
though they've been confirmed,
I don't want to be spoiled.
Or whatever.
Yeah, but
Two people I mean, it's already technically kind of confirmed, but we don't want to say it, But judging for all the things that's happened in the past couple months with those people, it's looking like it's gonna be on the way out. I can't wait to see Adam Warlock in this movie, even though he supposedly only has about 10 minutes of screen time, which is a little bit disappointing because I would have liked him to be there a little bit more. It's kind of like the Gore the God Butcher thing, how he didn't get that much screen time as well in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
So I definitely feel like the one person that is in this video call right now that really, really enjoys these movies is Marco. So as we saw, Marco was getting a little bit passionate about not knowing spoilers or whatever. So I wanted to know, Marco, pound for pound, what do you think about everything that's been coming out about the news of Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Other than Across the Spider Verse, I think Guardians might have been my most anticipated Marvel movie. Listen, I loved the first one. I remember when it came out, it was touted as Disney, no, not Disney's, but Marvel's Star Wars. And James Gunn, listen, we're talking about Andy Muschietti in the last topic. We talked about Sam Raimi. James Gunn is also a horror director. I know he did Scooby Doo, but he also did a movie called Slither. That movie was great.
It was great.
Yeah, it was very very good. So to see him now progress, and here's the thing: as a filmmaker, he's only getting better. Like I thought Guardians 1 was great, but I thought Guardians 2 was better. And if this continued, and then obviously he did Suicide Squad, he transferred to DC, and then he did Peacemaker, which, by the way, every single one of these projects has been well received by the audience and critics. So to see him pretty much progress the way he did as a filmmaker. Also, this is the most emotional Marvel. I'm pretty sure I already said this, but this is the most emotional one he's made. And so to see him now go from the first Guardians all the way, he went to DC, now back to the third volume, and apparently it's the best one yet. It is very, very, very. I'm very, very happy to see this progression, and listen, this is something that Marvel needs. This is something Marvel absolutely needs, especially after Ant-Man. I liked Black Panther, but I know you guys didn't. Obviously, Multiverse of Madness, all those movies that came out, Marvel needed this win. And it's a shame. Listen, it's a shame that this is his last Marvel movie because he's gonna be the head of DC Studios. He's gonna make Superman, and apparently Superman is gonna be just as emotional according to him. But yeah, no, like I'm very excited. The reviews have only been like getting me excited for this movie. I've loved all these movies. They're emotional. Just the way he uses the soundtrack, just the way he moves the camera. Definitely the most colorful Marvel movies in the MCU. And
1,000,000%.
I'm so excited. This is probably this and Flash, in my opinion, are tied. Just to how excited I am. What a great year! Like I know we had Ant-Man and Shazam, but we can forget about those movies. We can throw them on the side. We're talking Flash, Guardians, Spider-Verse. Those are the movies to really look out for this year. And I cannot wait to see this movie. This movie's gonna break me. I'm bringing a tissue box. We're all gonna cry together. Oh my God, Chris Pratt.
This is the first Marvel big win, bro.
This is gonna be the first big win in a very long time. So I'm very excited.
Big win of this year.
Definitely of this year. I cannot wait.
A couple crappy movies this year.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm very excited. That's all I really gotta say. I need to see this movie yesterday.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, here's the thing, right? I feel like James Gunn has. I feel like it would have been so hard for anybody else to direct these movies and get something out of them. You know what I mean? I remember when Guardians of the Galaxy was announced a while ago, the first one ever. There was a lot of negative feedback about Marvel even using a franchise that we didn't know much about as like your average moviegoer.
Yeah.
Outside of the comic books, nobody really knew anything about Guardians of the Galaxy, the actual comic. And I know there's been some changes. There's been some changes to Drax's character. There's been some changes to Star-Lord, but all in all, I feel like it's only been for the better of Marvel. And you know, I'm very curious to see what ends up happening to the Guardians of the Galaxy crew in this movie. To see if this is James Gunn's last movie. Where does the rest of the crew go from here? Obviously, maybe this is the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie we get ever, but are we going to see them in cameos? Is one of the characters maybe going to get a spin-off? Anything like that. So I definitely feel like one person that also loves these movies too is Brandon. So I want to know, Bama, what did you think about the reviews that have been coming in, and let alone the trailer that came out?
I've been seeing, just like how Marco's been saying, it's a very emotional, but at the same time, very funny movie because that's what the Guardians were, and it always has been. It's been very like well balanced in between. James Gunn, like he says, doesn't miss. I'm excited to see what he does for the whole Superman stuff whenever that finally comes out. I'm a little sad about the whole Henry Cavill still. We've mentioned this before previously, like privately. But yeah, as far as like Guardians, I feel like this one's gonna be a little different. It's gonna take a crazy turn, and like obviously, there's some people I know who dies, and why it gets super emotional. And I'm hoping, and I'm probably gonna be wrong, and I'll be like so sad when I walk out of that movie theater that the character I want to live doesn't die, but I have a feeling he is. But yeah, for me, like I'm really hoping that Guardian's gonna be great. I feel like it's gonna be
You guys
great.
see that scene that they like it was a clip that I saw from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It was
Jeremy, speak a little louder, okay?
Nebula and Star Lord. You guys didn't see that
Yeah,
little
I saw
scene
it.
that
I
was
saw it.
popping up
I saw it. It
with
was
the
a
car
good.
door?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
The
was
first F
hilarious.
word in the Marvel movie. That was so funny. I love that.
You know,
That's what's alluding to what Cameron was saying. Just how hilarious and how humorous and how warming it is to watch those movies. You know,
think
I
about
agree.
James Gunn and what a time it is to be alive for him. This is his swan song with Marvel, and you kind of feel like Marvel has their fingers crossed and hoping this does well, which obviously it is. There's no question about it. It's gonna do great. But I feel like every Marvel movie is a success in the box office for sure. That's never the issue. I think now it's becoming these things where we as people have become a lot more critical of how these movies are made in terms of just the quality we're getting in script, acting, story, everything, right? So it's so interesting to see how I feel like this movie for Marvel is going to be a big indication of where they're going to move forward in terms of their quality of movies. And I kind of feel like they're banking on this to do really well for them. And then you have DC on the other hand, kind of like, I'm sure there's a huge sense of relief. Warner Brothers has changed their executive. Now you have, on top of that, James Gunn in charge of DC Studios. So now I feel like they see a moment where they can strike while the iron's hot for them at least, because a lot of things are things are cooling down for Marvel, whether we like to admit it or not. It's gonna take a while for them to pick up momentum once again, but I feel like this could be a good. How do I say this? I feel like this could be a good statement for them, midway through the year, just to keep fans' appetite satisfied at least.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel like we're all looking forward to this movie. We all know it's gonna be an emotional roller coaster. We know people are it's literally gonna be it's gonna be like a Quentin Tarantino movie, comedy out of nowhere, a lot of deaths, a lot of sad scenes, a lot of action. So
AEW baby,
So
dude, AEW was amazing.
okay,
First
so
off,
I'm gonna be the guy outside the club looking in, while you guys will relish and talk about what happened this week at AEW.
yeah, I wonder why.
But yeah, no, I know you guys were gushing about the
hey,
the
look at how he
experience.
ignores the question too. Look at how he ignores what we said.
Look, no,
Yeah,
and
This
look how
guy.
he's asking questions
yeah,
like,
cause
bro,
I'm
Hey,
the guy.
so
I'm the
this
guy.
is this
I'm the
is
guy asking the
mine,
questions.
Eric, and Brandon's time to shine right now. We have to talk about how amazing it
so
is.
I'm the
'Cause
spectator.
when
yeah, so nobody knows this about Marcos, but Marcos is this type of person where you kind of have to you have to sell the idea of what you want to do to get him to tag along.
Yeah, you have
So
to force them out.
yeah, Marcos is a little bit of a
oh, you got a
homebody. He
little
likes to stay
yarmulke
home. He likes
under that
to.
hair, boy.
So let me know. I want to know everything about the event. What happened? Jeremy, you know what? Let's start with you since you're the one smiling. I know you loved it so much. Go
Dude, I
ahead.
loved it from start to finish. Not even. It was the mission that we had to get over there. Like I got out of work early and I showered to get to Eric's house, get these people in the car. Like it was all like military. I'm like I get in it was like in a movie. As soon as I pull up to Eric's house, let's go. Go, go, come on, we gotta go. We gotta go. We're getting in. Mission to get over there. It was like an hour 20 minutes to get over there. We managed to get
Yeah,
there.
we took the wrong
Started
turns.
pouring. We got soaking wet. Camel got insane. Camel, you got like insanely wet because me and Eric ran all the way to the front of the
Pause.
arena. We managed to
Like
get
an
from there
anime
like,
character.
dude, we managed to
He's
get under
walking
like,
like an anime character, just walking in the rain,
Oh yeah,
like if it's
bro.
a TikTok edit
I bet you look so cool,
of
Jeremy.
Ryan Gosling.
the arena
Yeah,
really nice.
so like like he was saying, it was a big mission. It was raining the whole time. We were stuck in traffic for a good 30 minutes before we really got past the expressway. So the thing about AEW, which was really cool, it didn't take place in Miami. It took place in Fort Lauderdale, which is like 40, 50 minutes away, depending on traffic. So
Weather.
AEW, they actually filmed 4 shows there, Marco. So they filmed Ring of Honor twice. They had 2 pre-tapings. So you go to the arena at 7 o'clock. They did a pre-arena on a Ring of Honor taping.
Yeah.
So as you guys probably don't know, Ring of Honor is a huge independent company. It's literally like the G League of the NBA of wrestling when it came to like stars coming out of there, and the big leagues like WWE and AEW signing all these guys. So we got to the arena. I'm not gonna lie, when we got our tickets, I was a little worried that we were gonna be higher up and further away from the arena than we realized. But luckily, the way the arena was set up, we were super close. We were still on the first floor. We were maybe 30 feet, 40 feet away from the actual arena itself.
Yeah.
Great seats. The atmosphere was amazing. We got to see a lot of wrestlers since we were kids that we loved. We saw Samoa Joe. We saw Christopher Daniels. We saw
Christian.
Chris
yeah.
Jericho.
We saw
Chris
Christian.
Jericho.
We saw Chris Jericho. We saw my favorite luchador. His name is Bandido. He actually was the Ring of Honor World Champion before Ring of Honor was bought out by AEW.
Okay.
And then we got to see this huge international phenom. His name is Jay White. He's like a typical Shakespeare character. He's very dramatic. He's always the victim in all his situations, but he's a heel. So it was pretty cool to see him because it was the second time actually we got to see him actually wrestle as a full-time AEW wrestler. We got to see the GOAT himself, Kenny Omega. And man, let me tell you, Marco, and I'm sure you guys felt the same way. When you're there, you relish that moment because you really appreciate how smooth it's operated. The moment Ring of Honor was finished, the production crew came in. They took off the aprons. They added the new banners. Everything. It was all
Shout
on
out
the
to
go.
Bob.
Literally like a pit crew.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bob.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a production guy there. His name was Bob, and the ring
Yeah.
announcer, Justin Roberts, who used to work for WWE, he was saying, oh, Bob right here is a local from Florida. So every time they'd cut to commercial, the whole arena was screaming, Bob, Bob.
All right, but was it a packed house? Like
No.
like it wasn't packed like the
It was,
the arena?
but it wasn't empty. It was very like balanced. Like
Balanced.
there was
Okay.
some rows that were empty, but then there was some that were like filled. We had pretty good seats. We were like in the not ringside, like on the floor, but like above them.
Mm.
Like if we jumped over like a barrier, we were right in the ringside area, like right next to like like where the barricade is and stuff. We were right there. But yeah, we got to see MJF.
I was gonna
I
ask
know that's
that.
your favorite, Marco.
I was gonna ask how the goat was.
The goal was funny as hell, bro.
He was funny?
Like always. Yeah, bro. He fucking.
Did he tell you guys to shut up?
What happened?
Did he tell you guys to shut up while he's talking?
He said that we sucked.
Yes, let's go.
Which I have it recorded on my phone.
Good.
But yeah, he was just saying like, oh yeah, this company sucks. Everybody that's watching at home sucks. Everybody in this arena sucks. And just like you, I think he was talking to who was it?
Yeah.
What was his name? Darby Allin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, oh, he sucks. His skateboard sucks. Just the typical thing that an MJF thing like he always does.
Oh my god.
Your old school heel would say. Yeah, so I think that yeah, it wasn't really a packed house, but I will say that
It was a fun night.
it's only been around for 3 years. It's only been around for 3 years. I would say 75% to 85% of the arena was full. But it was really impressive because they tried to show some highlights of the matches on Twitter and YouTube. The way they edit it and they cut the camera angles, it's really hard to tell how the crowd volume looks. So I was really impressed with how they're very cordial and professional when it comes to that, at least. That was one thing that I enjoyed. But yeah, Jeremy, how excited were you for, what was your favorite match?
I was gonna ask that, but yeah.
I really like that Orange Cassidy and the Bandito fight. It was really from start to finish. It
Freshly
was
squeezed.
perfect.
Freshly squeezed.
And no, freshly, bro. And it's just the entertainment that I had in that match. And I was really surprised with Bandito. It was the first time I watched him wrestle. Not even gonna lie, the first time I ever even heard of him. But dude, he is like strong. He is like insanely
Hey,
strong.
Marco, why are you laughing so much,
He
man?
picked up
Brother-
Orange
Marco,
Cassidy
hold
in
up.
one
I'm
hand.
sorry. Is that Bradley looks like a villain right now? Look at him. He looks like those mustache-chully
Bro,
villains.
bro, this
Is that-
fucking guy's obsessed with himself, bro.
I noticed
He's
when he
literally
was.
looking away from the
I
camera.
noticed when he was all the way in the back, like the lighting was hitting him at a good spot, and he just looked angry. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, he looked like that
Yeah,
for a second. I'm
bro.
like, bro, what is
No,
he?
but then there's like a shadow, and it looks like he has a cape on.
Yeah, he looks like he's about to
Looks real
like.
fucking ominous.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Continue.
Yeah, that Bandito fight was really good though.
Okay.
His strength, he just had him up and what he had him up like this, and then he
Bro,
put
wasn't he,
his
like,
one
squatting him?
hand down.
Yeah.
Nah, he wasn't even squatting. He was just holding it in one hand, and he kept on.
Like he had no, he
Didn't
wasn't
see
squatting
it.
him like this, but he squatted him up like this, and he was just like going like 1, 2.
Yeah, he had him
Like
up
he
like
held
that.
him up
One
for like
hand.
25 seconds.
Yeah, he
Bro,
had
I'm
him for
telling
a
you right
minute.
now. Bro, I'm telling you right now, bro. Just me up there for like 6 seconds, I would have like, I don't know. I think I would have fainted already.
I would have like, I
Yeah.
definitely would have been dizzy for sure.
It's fine.
And we
It's,
didn't pay a lot for those seats.
really? Is that true?
No, we didn't pay too much for those seats.
Paid about $50.
Yeah, they were about like
Pretty good.
$50 each with like taxes and everything.
Yeah.
Hey,
It
Brandon.
wasn't too
But
bad.
it was great seat.
Yeah. Brandon. What's your favorite match? Is it the same as Jeremy's or is it something
No, for
else?
me, it was the first like event of wrestling that I've been to since I was probably like 10 or 11. So to see how like some things were changed, were different because this is a different company. It was pretty good. The production team was great. Everything was very like well organized. Everything was amazing. The fans were it was definitely like an experience that I would say from like the earlier days of wrestling, like from the early 2000s. Very like Attitude Era vibe. Imagine we saw Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin, fight and wrestle and shit, and they used the table, like they put Darby Allin through the table, and it was insane because it was like the first time I seen like somebody get thrown into the table live. Because I've been to wrestling matches, and it was like I was there for the steel cage match for Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk. So this was a completely different vibe to it, and I thought everything was great. It was a pretty nice vibe. The fans were funny, especially the people that were behind us.
Yeah.
They were insane. There was a lot of like little references here and there to like Eddie Guerrero and like some WWE like references here and there. But yeah, the experience was really great. I wish you were there, Marco.
It's a work day. Sorry.
Yeah, Marco.
But it's okay.
I did with that shit.
I did leg day.
I had
It's
a
fine.
feeling Marco was probably home paying attention to CinemaCon, and especially that Transformers trailer that
Listen,
came out.
I've been a Transform. I remember watching the first Transformers movie. I'm talking. I know the animated one. I love the animated one, but I'm talking about the Michael Bay one.
The
It
Michael
came.
Bay?
I remember Shia LaBeouf. I remember.
Everybody did.
Yeah, I remember Shia LaBeouf. Like, what's funny about that is that I knew him from Even Stevens. Look at that. That looks awesome.
This has
A
been
blast
on
from the past
this
right
DS.
there.
Yeah.
Is that the DS?
Oh, that's a DS. I didn't even know that.
The Bumblebee one.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
it's,
the first time I've seen that one like ever. I didn't know you had
No.
it.
This is just a sticker. This is not like a
It's
a
a
special
skin.
edition.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
that was
but-
the edition. Something.
No. But this has been on since the original Transformers came out in theaters in 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has not came off like at all.
Don't ever take it off.
So I'm not taking this
No.
off. My dad got this for me. It
Yeah.
means a lot.
But yeah, no.
This is something
Yeah, it's
that's,
like a.
I cherish.
As for the trailer itself, I love the art design for this. I love the way the Transformers look. I love it. This one feels a lot like the focus is more on the Transformers than it is on the humans. which is something I think everybody's been clamoring for ever since even the first one. I think after the second one, I think people were clamoring all the focus to be on the Transformers. We saw Unicron in this trailer, which is something that I've never thought I would see.
So surprised that I even saw that. So surprised.
This trailer was just great. I remember this is one shot. I think on Twitter people were complaining like, "Oh, it's not impressive because it's CGI." I'm sorry, but artists who do CGI that takes a lot of work. And it's impressive. It's impressive nonetheless. The trailer, it gave me a lot of Bumblebee vibes, which is something that I love. In my opinion, I think the first one is one of my favorite movies. That movie holds a special place in my heart. So I hope, yeah. But I hope this one really surpasses that one because I do love Bumblebee, and I do think this is gonna be better than Bumblebee. And
who have been the main characters?
well, the first three was Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Then after that was no, and then after that was Wahlberg, I think, right? Yeah.
No, it was Wahlberg.
It was Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. And then Haley Steinfeld was kind of the main character of Bumblebee, so she did that. And now
that was Mark Wahlberg's daughter.
Yeah. In universe, yeah. But no, this trailer looks great. I'm excited for this movie. One thing
comes out June 9th.
June 9th. Okay, so wow, that's a
man.
June
That's gonna be a crazy 2 weeks. Crazy 2 weeks.
Crazy 3 weeks.
The Flash comes out right after.
And before that is Across the Spider-Verse, so that 3 weeks we'll be having a bunch of movies.
We have 3 premieres to go to, boys.
We're definitely spending the whole.
I'll be honest with you. There's one thing that kind of bothered me about but I don't know if you guys want me to talk about it now or wait until everybody's reactions.
No. Get it off your chest.
It's a quick thing, but I at the end of the trailer, it looks like the guy, who's the main character, one of the Autobots gives him something, and it's like a nanotech thing, and it looks like he's gonna have this Iron Man type thing. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. I was thinking about that as well. I kind of feel like, look. So Transformers holds a special place in all of our hearts. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day. There's been so many iterations of the Transformers cartoons, but there was one that had a special place in my heart called Transformers Armada. And it was my favorite Transformers series. I literally, to this day, as you guys can see, I have a little bit of a collection in the back of figures that I love and dear and close to my heart. There's an Optimus Prime where he merges with Jetfire that is literally on my holy grail. And if you try to go on eBay, we're talking about $300, $400 right there. So my plan is to definitely get it. But the Michael Bay Transformer movies have been absolutely successful for Michael Bay himself, because I'll be honest with you guys, those never felt like Transformer movies. Those always felt like Michael Bay movies.
Right.
If that makes sense to you. A lot of explosions, a lot of cinematics, all that stuff. I kind of feel like for me, Bumblebee was kind of the start of us trying to focus more on like the world building of Transformers, but at the same time they're still focusing on characters like Mark Wahlberg's character, Haley Steinfeld, things like that. But now the fact that they're even introducing Unicron is insane. Like, people don't realize that is literally, he is the Galactus of Transformers. He's literally the Galactus of Transformers.
How do you fight a planet? I don't get it.
He's literally a planet. He is funny. A Transformer, a Decepticon that is a planet. I'm definitely excited for this movie. I feel like it's been a little bit of time since I feel like we could truly say, oh my god, let's go to the theaters to watch that Transformers movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Bumblebee movie was okay, and then of course, you know what I mean, we're gonna get the GOAT John Cena in that movie as well. Yeah, what was I gonna say? As you can see, my boy Camel was dripped out with the Nintendo DS with the Bumblebee skin. Transformers is so nostalgic for all of us. Obviously, this newer generation doesn't appreciate it probably as much as we do, just because, we had it shoved down our throats because we actually liked it, and especially for me, it has a soft place in my heart because of Linkin Park, and it was just like every single movie there was a Linkin Park song that came out.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's
But yeah,
true.
yeah, for sure, because Chester passed away sadly. But yeah, Brandon, I know you've been a huge fan of these Transformers movies, and they hold a special place in your heart because you'd always watch them with your dad, right? Whenever he would come down.
Yeah, I've seen most of these when I saw the first one in theaters with him, and then I saw the second one I think also with him or my grandma, one of those two. But as far as like all the Transformers movies, I've seen all of them in theater except for Bumblebee. Bumblebee was the only Transformer movies that I didn't get to watch. But I saw the Mark Wahlberg one. Yeah, I saw the Mark Wahlberg one. I saw the all three of the Shia LaBeouf ones. And like obviously like this one, it's gonna be different. Because I mean like Eric said, we have
The Maximals
we
and the
have a few.
Predacons.
Yeah, like imagine these are like different beasts, different things compared to like just the typical Autobots versus Decepticons. And it's not gonna be like just Megatron and Optimus Prime just fighting each other. Trying to get the whole premise of like Transformers is like that they were trying to get like just in power. Just try to be the stronger Transformer. You know. So I'm very glad to see that we're gonna get a new Transformer. I'm hoping somehow, some way. I know it's probably not gonna happen. I'm hoping for a Linkin Park song at the end.
We'll
Hoping.
see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean they
Yeah,
came
bro. I
out
mean, it'll
with the
be
20th
pretty cool.
anniversary. They came out with the 20th anniversary album from I believe it's Meteora. So it there was a bunch of songs that were unreleased. So it'd be kind of cool if they do that. But I do know they have interesting cast. You have John Cena. I forget his first name. His last name is Ramos. He was a part of
Anthony Ramos.
uh, Anthony Ramos. He was a part of the cast of Hamilton.
Pete Davidson's in that
So
movie for some
Pete
reason.
Davidson.
he Davidson. I have a feeling he's probably gonna do voice acting for sure. Something. It has to
Yeah,
be
Probably,
something.
yeah.
But
He's playing
where
Mirage,
but
and then you got
yeah,
Liza
Mirage
Koshy.
probably an Autobot or Decepticon or yeah. So
I
that was
mean, John did
Bumblebee.
not
So
use.
Yeah.
so I was gonna ask Jeremy, what do you think about it?
I really like the track. I mean, I haven't been excited since. I'm not gonna lie. After the third movie of Shia LaBeouf, I haven't. I watched the Mark Wahlberg one, but it didn't really grasp my attention. I just thought Shia LaBeouf was like the man in those three movies to me. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited for it. For this new movie. I like how the CGI is not as bad as people say it's gonna be, and I really like the creativity on all the robots that they've made in this movie, with the different variety of animals.
So the other news that came out of CinemaCon was the big wave and splash that was Craven the Hunter with Aaron Taylor Johnson. It looks like some people saw some footage, right, Marco?
Yeah, so they showed like a little sizzle reel. It does come out later this year. I want to say in October. I want to say it comes out October, and I'll be honest with
Yeah,
you.
you're right. You're right.
I,
October.
I remember Venom came out. I think we all really liked it. We all really liked the movie. Venom 2 came out. I really liked it. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I'm pretty sure
I
we
liked
all.
it too.
Yeah, I think we all liked it, right? I think it was very
It was a
entertaining.
solid movie. It wasn't.
Right,
It was entertaining. I just think, yeah.
right. And but then Morbius came out. Um,
More billion.
more
More
billion.
billion.
It's Morbin time. The movie came out.
It's
Yeah,
Morbin time.
And
Unfortunately,
then that was a big black eye for Sony.
it was a piece of crap. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't do well at the box office. It didn't do well critically, and I felt like that movie single-handedly
Got
turned off.
catfish too.
It single-handedly turned off a lot of people off the Sony movies in terms of the villains,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, it's just been a roller coaster with Sony's.
and then
movie-wise.
and then
Marvel.
you have this Craven movie come out, which I won't. I'll be honest, I wasn't excited for, but I was definitely intrigued by. I do like Craven as a villain, but I was very interested by. But I was kind of like scratching my head. How are they gonna do a movie about Craven without Spider-Man, right? And then I was still
Yeah.
I was mildly interested in this movie. I wasn't excited. However, then I heard about what they want to do with this movie. I heard how. First of all, this is gonna be a rated R film, which surprised the hell out of me,
First rated
considering
R film.
for Sony.
Yeah,
It surprised the
I
hell out of
love that.
me.
I love that.
It surprised me because Venom was not like if you want to do rated R, why didn't you do it for Let There Be Carnage? But that's another topic for another day. Um,
Yeah.
but the fact that they're just doing it for this one,
They're learning from their mistakes.
right? The fact that they're doing it for this one shows me that they want to kind of make comic book movies that are outside the box. You know how Fox used to do with Deadpool and Logan. From the description, it looks like it's very gory. Like apparently he like kills people like in a bloody fashion. Like he just stabs them and everything with a little spear. Apparently
He's a
eats
hunter.
he eats out some guy's eyeball in the footage that they described, which is crazy.
Yeah, which is interesting, right? Because I mean, the interesting dynamic with Craven has always been that he kind of brought like the wild side in Spider-Man
Very
because
primal.
Spider-Man takes place very primal, and the thing is Spider-Man takes place in New York, so like we never got a villain that you could say, like there was like a part of Spider-Man that you could say was almost like Camel said primal, and I feel like Craven always brought out that side of Spider-Man. This guy Craven he's a big game hunter, a huge
Yeah.
big game hunter. It's this thing, and he's been synonymous with killing a bunch of rare creatures, a bunch of mythical beasts and stuff like that. And then one thing that they were talking about in the movie, Craven the Hunter, is number one, they said that he chased a rhino, and then in one of the scenes, Rhino says, "Do you know why they call me Rhino?" And supposedly he ended up turning into an actual rhino.
Yeah, so from the footage, apparently he injects himself with like a serum and then he transforms into a rhino. That's very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen it done in the comics.
It's an interesting twist.
Um,
And then and they show Aaron Taylor Johnson wearing these bare feet socks,
yeah.
or like these little shoes, where it looks like he's a. I definitely think we're gonna get a more action jungle type of thriller with
Right.
Craven the Hunter. But
This got me excited.
They showed you like the title of the movie and all that, but they haven't released a trailer for the movie, correct?
Yeah, it's like a
No.
special thing. It's like a special thing only for the people that paid to be there and the people
that
that.
one.
Yeah, this is for like exhibitors and a bunch of journalists.
Yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, Cameron, what'd you think about it?
Like all the news, I'm pretty excited for. I know Craven has this very primal, um, like feel to with the whole Spider-Man thing. I'm kind of excited to see how they make this like happen, and I'm hoping to see like maybe I don't know how the Rhino thing, how you guys were talking about. I don't know if it's like the same Rhino as the one that's from the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Nope.
No, different thing.
Definitely
Yeah.
not.
Apparently he
Awesome.
sounds.
Definitely.
Apparently he
great.
sounds different. And in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was like a mechanical rhino. This is actually like he transforms,
Yeah.
like mutated.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully, we get to see maybe like a very similar to like Rhino, like in the comic books.
I mean,
Hopefully.
That's what I'm betting on.
probably maybe Rhino, but like in a different universe. Maybe you can interpret it that way.
No,
Yeah,
that's what they're
maybe
going
it
for.
might be like that Rhino that they showed into No Way Home. I don't know if you guys remember, like when the sky was cracking. They
Yeah.
showed Craven the Hunter, Black
Yeah.
Cat, and Rhino. So I'm guessing
Vulture.
it might be around that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
hoping it ties up with No Way Home in a way.
Yeah, that was a pretty dope mention that you brought up right now,
I
actually.
think they're. What do you think about them pushing the Sinister Six side of things into the Marvel movies?
It makes you curious, right? Does it make you guys
Very
curious?
curious.
Like, that was a good question.
Are they
Jeremy.
doing
Yeah.
that?
Does it make you curious?
Are they doing Sinister
Yeah, I
Six?
mean,
I
look,
don't-
it seems like they've done 2 so far. You know what I mean?
Right.
They've done
Technically 3.
Vulture. Yeah, exactly. Vulture's been a part of it. Craven, and
I don't.
what was the
Is it
other one?
Venom in it?
No, in the Sinister
Well-
Six, no. In the comics, I don't think
Wasn't-
Venom was ever
wasn't
part of the
Doc
Sinister
Ock?
Six.
No, Doc Ock was a part of the Sinister Six.
He was the
Yeah.
leader. He was the leader.
Doc Ock,
Who's the leader?
Sandman, Goblin.
I don't
Right?
think Gob. No, the original I think was Doc Ock, Craven, Vulture, Electro, who
Mm-hmm.
else?
But look,
Mysterio.
we technically look.
Mysterio.
I definitely feel like
It'll be. Let me do this real quick.
I gotta
so
hear
there's
you.
been
I
different
gotta hear.
Sinister
iterations.
Six.
There's been
Yeah.
different iterations.
But
Yeah.
Craven just looks. It looks.
Vulture, Sandman, Electro, Mysterio.
Sandman. There we
Craven.
go. Sandman.
Yeah, and I think what's pretty cool is the idea that it's gonna be rated R and this comes out in October and it has to do with
Keep going.
I'm so fucking done. I'm so
Keep going.
fucking done.
Keep going.
What
Dude,
happened?
Keep going. Keep going.
Done, bro.
Keep going. Keep going.
A gentleman can't stretch, bro. You can just ignore me, bro.
I can't even edit. I don't even know, bro.
I guess it matters.
I saw this man's whole fucking meat carpet right now, bro.
Bro, it's not even edit, bro.
Keep going. Keep going. Doesn't matter.
I don't even know what I was talking about. That's how distracted I got seeing that shit, son.
Bro, I'm over
What was I
here
even
like
talking?
Talking about
we were
Craven.
talking about
Because I was talking about how
being
like
rated R.
if it's a success, we can see
Camel, why
more.
Yeah, I feel like this movie's coming out in the fall in October, so I feel like it's gonna be pretty interesting how it's gonna be rated R, it's gonna be with Craven the Hunter, it's gonna be very gory. It feels like it's gonna be a thriller with how much action we just heard in 5 minutes worth of clips. You know what I mean? So I feel like with the amount of gore we're gonna get, it's kinda cool that there's gonna be a very horror to me I feel like there's gonna be a horror-esque point of view when it comes to his character.
It's gonna be a darker film, definitely. Okay. Well.
Yeah, we did.
I can't wait to see that movie. It comes out this October. It's gonna be incredible. I can't wait. Yeah, no. I hope they knock this out of the park. I think Sony, just like how Marvel needs Guardians to knock it out of the park, I think Sony needs Craven to knock it out of the park. For sure. For sure. Speaking of that, I think our next topic, Eric, I know you're excited for this one. Dead Island 2. Do you
Yeah, so
go ahead. The floor is yours, sir.
no. So I feel like this whole game franchise itself is an anomaly. It's so interesting when you look at the history for Dead Island in general, when we go all the way back to the original.
Right.
So I feel like one thing that's crazy is the first one came out in 2011.
Yeah.
So we were what? We were sixth graders around that time?
We're
What
yeah,
time-
we're
how old were
around. Yeah, we were sixth graders.
Right off the bat, it was already a controversial franchise because in the first trailer that ever came out, they showed a dead child in the trailer, and it got a lot of backlash for that. And then it was a distraction coming out with the release of the first game. After that, it sold over 5 million copies. It had great reviews. It was made by Techland. Techland has made a couple of other games, nothing crazy. You guys all heard of Homefront, right?
You talking about the video game?
Like
Yeah,
The
Homefront
video game?
Revolution.
I've heard of it. I've never
Yeah,
played
yeah.
it. I've never played it though.
yeah.
I've heard of it.
So yeah, so they ended up making it. They did not want to. They wanted to make a Dead Island 2, but they ended up not doing it because out of all things, they wanted to work on Dying Light, which was a good. It was okay. It did well.
I think the second
Yeah.
one did better than the first, from what I remember.
I think they said that the second one might have been the reason why they even stopped making it. I don't remember, but we've all played those games at least a little bit. So now we go from that to the studio that's making them now. I'm trying to remember, but
Deep
point is,
Silver.
yes, good shit, Jeremy. So in 3 days, they've already sold over 1 million copies since its since its first release. Initial release, I mean. Now look, the trailer came out in what, 2014, 2013? The Dead Island, the famous Dead Island 2 trailer.
We started high school when that trailer came out. We're already years away after graduating, and it just released.
Graduating, and it just came out.
So that's
It
insane.
was supposed to come out for the 4.
Yeah.
Not even that. That they switched it like to develop it like 3-4 times. So like to
Yeah,
finally
it
get
was
it
such
now.
a weird thing.
But I'm not gonna lie, it's worth it. I saw a clip today of somebody comparing like the Dead Island games side by side, And in the first Dead Island game, when you would kill a zombie and you just go up to it and you just punch it and you just use your weapons on it or anything, it just stays as like the same body. It doesn't you don't it's not like you're chopping off pieces. It's not like you're seeing gore. But in the next clip, you see Dead Island 2, you walk up to a zombie and you kill it, falls on the floor, and you just destroy it, and you just see pieces flying off. You see parts of the rib flying off. You see the arm getting thrown off. The graphics are amazing. They've really developed like the character, like all the zombies are to the T.
They vamped
Like
it up.
they completely vamped it up. Like their physical traits and their physical attributes on those zombies, they look insane. Like I ain't gonna lie, I saw some zombies that were looking fit, but
You're
I'm looking
ugly.
at this right now,
I
bro.
know
This
I saw
motherfucker
that.
looks like yeah. I'm looking at it right now. Bro, this zombie is jacked. Fucking
Yeah.
the roids did not. It didn't wear off. This motherfucker, you know.
I have
He could be
a
dead or
But
alive,
that-
but he's
I have a
built
question.
motherfucker, you know?
Is this game a cross gen or is it like a next gen? Well, current gen exclusive now, or is it a cross gen?
think
it's a
maybe a
current gen
current
exclusive.
gen.
I think.
I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah,
a
it's
current gen
current gen.
exclusive.
No,
But the thing is, you know what I like? You know another thing I like about this game? It's not gonna be like an open world game.
no, it isn't.
So like
It isn't.
think of it like they really focused.
It's like God of War, where it's like
Yeah,
it feels open world, but it's not.
It's not. It's kind of like it's just a bunch of like different sectors. They call it sectors that you go through throughout the game.
It's a
And,
semi.
like,
It's yeah. It
It's like personalized to
Arkham
like
Knight.
the
Think of
character.
Arkham Knight.
Like
It's a
Ghost of
semi-open
Tsushima
world.
type of thing, or
Like
like
Arkham Knight,
it-
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
okay.
It makes it.
But
it
yeah,
makes-
there's just been so. This franchise itself has just been so controversial, honestly. And the one thing that I was worried about was like, oh, this game's gonna bomb. It's gonna bomb. Everybody's been waiting so long for it that it gets to a point where there's people that pre-ordered this game in 2014. 2014.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Waiting
Yeah,
years.
that's wild.
the pre-order still went through.
There's people that
Bro, you
trailer
know what
came
it
out.
is?
Where's
They
my
didn't have
60
10
bucks
years.
at?
Now they have
You must hold that receipt for 10 years. You know how hard it is to hold that receipt for that long, bro.
That's what I'm saying. And yeah, I was worried that it was not going to be a success financially. And the thing is, it's so strange to me how this game is doing so well financially. And there's been a couple of reviews, and the reviews have been great, but we're not seeing people talk about it. I'm a little bummed out that this is one of those games where I felt like since that trailer came out, I could have sworn we would go play basketball or we would go hang out, and it was like 2016, 2017. Yeah, I would randomly go up to you guys, remember, and I'd be like, "What's going on with Dead
Yo,
Island?"
what's Dead Island about? Yeah, I
That
know.
shit coming
Yeah,
up for
yeah.
a long time.
Yeah,
I'm looking at like
Really enjoyed
pictures
that
of it
game.
right now. It looks pretty cool. I never got to play the first one, bro.
Bro, I didn't even know
Sucks.
there was a Riptide, bro.
I think. All right. So
Like I knew there was a Riptide, but like it was so like unknown. Like nobody fucking played it. Like
yeah.
after Dead Island
This
1,
is
it's
just-
just like this is the trajectory.
The thing
Like,
is,
They took way too
Yeah.
long.
what?
That's the problem. They took way too
Yeah,
long
it's
to release the
Yeah.
game. After
they pitched
a
the
lot of
idea
people
like
gone.
what
they
happened?
pitched the idea for Dead Island 2 back in 2014. So
but,
like
but that becomes a problem when you take this long to release a game. Audiences just stop caring. One thing I will say is the graphics. I know Jeremy already alluded to this. The graphics look incredible. The animations, the perform. One thing about it, the performance, and for a cross-gen game, this looks better than like a lot of titles currently releasing. It looks
Oh, for sure.
which
Oh my
which
God, yeah.
which surprised the hell out of me because we talked. I mean, it's something we talked about in another topic, but well, in a different time about Suicide Squad,
Right.
and it
Oh yeah.
and we talked about how that game just did not impress. And then you look at this game, performance-wise, this game looks incredible. Graphics-wise, you can see like the facial animations. The facial animations feel current gen. I'm not gonna say next gen because PS5 has been out for years now, but it looks
Yeah.
overall like the animations, the combat, especially it's difficult to do first-person combat. Very, very difficult because you have to animate with the sense of perspective that you're in the first person. So you have to animate.
Yeah.
You have to make sure it flows nicely with the system and the controls and everything.
Yeah.
characters. Oh yeah, they got Hustler Bruno, Mechanic Carla, Retail Worker Danny, Firefighter Listen to this one. Firefighters 3 themed stripper Ryan,
Ryan.
athletic Amy, and stuntman Jacob. I'm assuming it's gonna be you can pick one of the 6 characters.
No, you play as all of them.
Oh,
I
you play as
just
all, okay, so you,
Like
and then
a,
you just switch
it's
up
like a
on all of
GTA
them.
type of thing.
sold
A
a
million
million
in 3 days.
copies in 3 days. Yeah.
Saying it's not selling, it's selling.
So that's a good number for it, especially as I said before. It's a game that would just it took too long to release. People just apparently they just give up and they moved on. And once you lose them, it's hard to gain it back.
Exactly. It's kind of like, how would you feel? How would you feel if you're really interested in this girl? How would you feel if you're interested in this
All
girl?
right.
How would you feel if you're interested in this girl since middle school and all of a sudden, bro, time passes by. You've been with other girls. You have an idea of what you like in a girl, and she comes back to you, and she dresses nice. She dresses whatever. She comes up to you, she goes, "Hey, how about we? I'm interested in getting to know you." And you're not gonna be interested anymore. There's a new flavor of the month, boys. That's
I
why.
thought so. This whole thing with Xbox, Microsoft, and Activision. So, as you guys already know, it's been all over the news. Microsoft has been trying to buy Activision for the better part of a year now, and Sony has kind of objected to that, which honestly they should. I don't think. And obviously they brought the government in. A whole lot of legal troubles have been going on with this, and apparently it's been blocked.
They do it in England.
It's been blocked.
Mhm.
Yes. I'll be honest. I'm glad it's being blocked. I don't want Microsoft buying. This has been a problem for Microsoft for the longest time. It's been for years now, since 2018 to 2017. Everybody kept saying how the biggest problem with Microsoft and Xbox has been their first party titles, and it's been their lack thereof, the lack thereof of first party titles. So instead of building the studios that they've acquired or the studios that they already have or forming new studios, they decided to buy. I think in 2018, I want to say it was at their a showcase that they did. They acquired 5 studios, and at the time it made sense, right? They only had 5 studios. They've upgraded at the time to 10. It's like perfect. That's perfect. And I thought what they were going to do, since they're a trillion-dollar company, I thought they were going to expand them, and I thought they were going to invest heavily into the studios they already bought. No, a year later they decided to buy Bethesda, which I'll be on. I was kind of intimidated by, because I'm like, and I was concerned by, because like, you guys have already a couple of studios. And by the way, after they bought those 5 studios, they bought a couple of more studios. I remember they bought Double Fine Studios, which is a very creative company. I think they make like a bunch of double A games, like small games, but still.
Yeah.
And they were buying studios, so when they bought Bethesda, I was concerned, because this is a public. By the way, this is not a studio. This is a massive publisher with a whole bunch of studios. They bought them, and I remember I was concerned because they it's not that they're exclusive to Xbox. They literally work with PlayStation. These guys make Skyrim. They made like a whole bunch of games. They have a whole bunch of studios. So essentially, you're taking an entire publisher and you're gonna put them on the Xbox ecosystem. You're gonna put them on Game Pass, and that's a massive problem by itself. Game Pass is another topic we can talk about. Why I don't really like it as much. But whatever, we can talk about that.
Hold on.
Yeah, what's going on?
Don't you feel like PlayStation caused this problem though?
In what way?
Definitely.
In what way?
PlayStation was the first. What studio did they buy? But they bought a big studio that
Oh, didn't they buy
was
Blizzard?
across.
Someone bought Blizzard.
No. I know they bought Bungie, but that was after the fact. That was after. That was after Xbox bought. That was after Xbox bought Bethesda, and they were looking to buy Activision.
I could have sworn PlayStation bought someone before Bethesda that I kind of felt like.
That's the
Xbox?
last thing I think they bought. Blizzard.
Oh, you're talking about Sony or Xbox here?
No, Sony. I could have sworn Sony bought someone before Microsoft bought Bethesda.
They bought Insomniac.
Which I kind of felt was like. You see?
All right, but look, I'm gonna give you a counter. I disagree, and here's why. Before Insomniac was bought, besides Sunset Overdrive, which is their only Xbox exclusive, Insomniac primarily only worked on PlayStation titles. If you go back and look at their catalog, Spyro, I think they did the Ratchet and Clank series. I know they did Resistance. What else did they do? I know they did something else. But basically vast majority of their titles have been with PlayStation. This is a company that has been, and Sony has been able to give them budgets for these games and have been able to expand them. So they've been a second party studio. And here's the thing with Sony, like all the studios that they acquired, they've been working for them for years. Like a great example is Sucker Punch. Right, because before they acquired them in 2011. By the way, Sucker Punch was the last studio before Insomniac that they acquired, and the difference between those studios was about 9 years. So it took 9 years for them to just buy another studio. But all the studios that they bought, they've worked with them years before they acquired them. They built them up already to the point where the studios have massive trust in PlayStation, right? So another one is Naughty Dog, right? So before The Last of Us, they've worked on...
That's a huge one here.
Yeah, they've exclusively just worked on PlayStation titles. Same thing with Sucker Punch. You know, they've also built studios.
Isn't a Rockstar exclusive now too to PlayStation?
No, well, I don't think so. No, as of right now, they're owned by Take-Two.
I thought they said
they had like
was going to be only PlayStation.
No. It was only gonna be PlayStation, I believe, for a month or some shit like that.
I think it's like the Call of Duty.
Like it came out first.
I think it's like the Call of Duty deal, because with the DLCs, you know how before it used to go to Xbox first, now it goes to PlayStation now. But the difference between PlayStation and Microsoft is PlayStation, before they acquire studios, they work with them for years and they gain their trust. They give them budgets and they gave them like all this like assets to make the game that they want to make before they acquire them, so they gain their trust. The difference between that and Microsoft literally just buys the publishers. They bought Bethesda, but it's not like they've worked with them exclusively for them for years. They've been working with PlayStation. They've had a great partner with the PlayStation. Microsoft just bought them. Same thing with Activision, right? They bought a publisher, and by the way, like Sony acquires studios, Microsoft has been acquiring publishers. That's a massive difference as well. Activision is a massive publisher with like a whole bunch of titles that has been tied. Games. That is there you go. That's been tied with PlayStation. Has been tied with that as well. And and listen, I wouldn't have a problem with Xbox had they bought a whole bunch of studios that exclusively just worked for them, right? Like if they buy like a bunch, like 10 studios, but these are studios that they've worked with for years. These are studios that they've grown and built up, and they've got massive trust in Xbox. If they acquired them, that's fine. But the problem is that they didn't do that, and you can see the government is taking notice.
They're kind of like monopolizing them.
What they're trying to.
It almost looks like it's
right.
It looks like it's a panic buy. It's a panic buy. I think they're just trying to find a way to catch up with PlayStation, and the truth is, they just can't. They don't know how to. And I feel like what you said was a great point. They're not putting in effort at all in trying to come up with original game titles that are Xbox exclusives. They're not trying to do anything anymore. It just seems like what you see is what you get with Xbox.
I think a massive problem is they want these studios because they want to bolster their Game Pass subscription service, right? So they want a whole bunch of studios to be making games for them, so they can put them on their service. So people then are incentivized to purchase it, right? So it's like a Netflix thing. Here's the problem with that: gaming is a far different like type of business plan than it is for
1,000,000%
with shows and a whole bunch of these movies, right? Because with gaming, it's like you have to employ a bunch of studios, right? You have to employ a bunch of these, and game development takes years. It takes far longer to make a game than it is to make a movie or show. And the thing is that when you put all these studios that are known to make these type of video games, you put them in a subscription service type model. The problem is they focus more on quantity rather than quality, and you already start seeing that. You like, dude, Xbox has way more studios now than I'm pretty sure PlayStation had, and it's been for a while now. But the fact is, you see a lot more
quantity over quality.
Right, you see a lot more discussion based around like God of War, Horizon, right, Spider-Man. I know you guys were talking about Ghost of Tsushima.
The Wolverine that's gonna come out.
Exactly, you're seeing a lot more discussion because it's more. They create that quality. They have that brand of trust with the audience.
But this deal being blocked is, I think, a good thing, just because of the fact
100%. Yeah,
I felt like acquiring Activision is just, it's too much.
Way too much.
It'd be too overwhelming.
Yeah,
It's gotten to a
they're
point where like the landscape of gaming has changed so much, and it's been kind of overwhelming in the sense of it's so much change, and it's also been underwhelming in the sense of what we're getting back as video gamers and as people that play video games. Yeah, it's been the skins, it's been the emotes, it's been all this stuff. Everything, the quality of what you get in a game that you buy. Yeah, you pay $60, $70 for a game, but you could expect if you want to enjoy the full experience, you have to pay another $60, $70 for that game. And I just
Yeah,
felt
imagine
like,
each like battle pass is like I think like
That's not my. It's
20
not like I
bucks or
used
something like
to.
that. Yeah, bro. Like
yeah,
you used to
and
buy the game and like what you get, like if you want to pay for things like in like remember like in the Black Ops 2 days back when we were like in middle school, bro, like people would buy this like the skins for the guns and shit, which was fine, if you had the money for it, go ahead, but you didn't need to get it to like succeed or like to do this.
yeah,
Imagine
you
now
had to
like
grind it out.
people, yeah, you
Did
just grind your shit, you prestige all your guns, boom, you got the diamond shit. Like here and there, like
Yeah,
you'll have like the little things that you'll buy, which like I feel like a lot of video game companies do nowadays. Like they like put just the shit that comes with the game. Like here you go, and it's like, oh look, we have this crazy cool shit. You get to be stronger, be better. Your attributes in the game will be better compared to like how it was 10 years ago when we were like in middle school, which was like the pinnacle of gaming, where it was just like, oh look, we had this new game come out with like the Arkham games and all that, like the Nathan Drake games. Like it
it's
doesn't feel the
it,
same.
it's kind of like the way I view it now. What Sony and Microsoft are trying to do. It's kind of like when a director comes out with their own studio, or like a actor. I mean, or if a singer comes out with their own record label, like how Kanye West has good music, and then he has all these artists sign under good music. It's kind of like Sony is Kanye, and then all these studios are good music, the label, and then all these artists are these individual video game titles. And I kind of feel like Marco made a great point, right? Um, it's the fact that all these games that are coming out that are success for Sony, these are all original game concepts developed under Sony. You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
we're talking about. It's not like we're talking about like a general game franchise that was played on Xbox and on PlayStation that was, and now it's remotely exclusive to PlayStation. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're seeing Xbox lose out on a big franchise that's gonna sting for them. You know what I mean? And I just kind of feel like, I don't know. It's gonna get to a point now where this would have been crossing the line. This would have been too much for anybody. Supposedly Xbox was saying, yeah, um, I think Activision still had a deal overall with Sony for what, another 9, 10 years or something like that. That Microsoft or somebody was saying, they were saying that, look, we'll be people that play on PlayStation will still be able to play. But I call a load of crap on that. I don't think that was gonna happen. I think this was gonna turn into one of those things where it was strictly gonna be on Xbox, and I just think they were saying that because they knew that there was a chance that this could be denied, this transaction, and I just think they tried to get it to say, they said that to get it done, and it just didn't happen. It
It's
wasn't
a
gonna happen.
it,
This,
it's a massive waste of time. You have 20 they have 23 studios. They could have, instead of wasting their $68 billion on this, they could have used that money to expand their studios to the point where they could be making 2 or 3 games per studio, right? I know Sony's already doing
exactly.
that. Naughty Dog's making, I think, 2 games. I know Sony Santa Monica,
Yeah,
they're working on the next God of War, and I think the guy who directed
God
the
of War
first God
already.
of War is going to be working on a sci-fi game. Insomniac has like 4 titles they're working on. Sucker Punch, I think Sucker
And
Punch is the
Santa
only
Monica
one.
does the movie The Show.
Exactly. So yeah. So like a whole bunch of studios have been doing like 2 or 3. Like they're expanding these studios to make multiple games, and
It's
it's embarrassing. It really is for Xbox. It's a management problem as well. They've managed these studios terribly.
It's a landslide, man. It's a landslide. What's happening? It's literally they're doing this just because they want to be. They're trying to find the lazy way out on top of trying to find a way back on being on top. And I'm sorry, they've just been doing wrong for a long time,
And
and
I
they
mean,
have not been able to
exactly,
get them.
exactly. And you can look at the sales. Like I know we just talked about no, we didn't talk about. We talked this off screen about how PS5 has been like doing extremely well. They've reported their first quarter they've sold like a lot. They've sold like they broke a new record. They sold about 6 million, 6 million PlayStation 5s around there, and they're looking to like end the year strong, like with a whole bunch of
Exactly.
units.
And let's be realistic. If Microsoft completed the purchase of Activision, nobody that would have bought your. Let's be honest. More people play on PlayStation than Xbox. That's
That's
probably
true.
why it
As
got
of late,
denied.
yeah.
That makes
That's probably why
sense.
it got denied. People, because realistically, if Microsoft completed this purchase, what would have happened? People would have to have gone out and bought an Xbox to play COD, to play Call of Duty. That's technically that's an abuse of power at that point. You're making people waste another $500, another $600 just to buy your console, so we could play a $70 game that after a couple months or a year another one comes out. It would have been redundant. It would have been a huge abuse of power, a huge abuse of power.
Yeah, it's failing, and I'm glad it's failing. They just have to show that they have to do
Yeah.
better.
Look at all of PlayStation's success off the bat. God of War, Uncharted,
Right.
Ratchet and Clank. These are all original titles. All original titles.
Yeah. Um,
You know what I mean?
do you guys have any opinions on this before we move on? Like any final
Yeah,
thoughts?
man. I mean, I've always been PlayStation till like I die, and I will still be like this until, until I no longer play or whatever.
Okay.
It's just a little like, I just think the whole thing with the whole PlayStation 5 thing, it was like, imagine, it's been out already for about 3 years, almost four now, I believe. And imagine now it's when they finally start
Now
like,
is when they finally
oh,
catch
there's
up on production.
yeah, like, oh, look, we have no more shortages. Because, bro, like, you know what it was? People were paying $1,000 for a PS5.
It's getting point where you're paying $1,000 for a PlayStation. I paid $700 for mine when it was towards the end of the pandemic. I want to say
700.
paid
Yeah, nah.
$700.
I paid retail for mine. Like,
Okay.
I got it because my dad paid retail. Somehow my dad got it. My dad's got two for retail during the whole pandemic. When people were selling for like $1,000, my dad got two. Like, he this one, he's like, oh, look here, here's this one for your birthday, which was his originally. And then he got his. He told me he
And
still
then he
hasn't
bought his
even,
new
like,
one.
bro, he hasn't even opened it, which is hilarious.
When he hasn't
Like at
opened
this
it.
point, bro, he hasn't even turned it on.
Why? He just doesn't play anymore.
Not
He's-
really, no. Yeah, because imagine all the games are like almost $80 and shit. My
That's
dad's
another
very like,
thing. That's another abuse of
bro,
power.
how
Fucking
the fuck
Isn't
are
raising.
we gonna charge
Rocksteady
us?
an exclusive?
Nope. Nope.
Rocksteady?
Rocksteady.
No.
Rocksteady is under WB Games.
But isn't Gotham? I thought Gotham Knights was only PlayStation.
No, it's out on Xbox as well.
No. Yeah.
Jeremy, you have any final
But yeah.
thoughts? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you? Is there anything
Oh no,
else you
I
want
was
to
just
say?
gonna get. Yeah, I was just gonna say like the ending for this one was just like it's just wild how like it took like so long to just finally be like, hey, look, man, we got like PlayStations like no longer need to like, oh yo, I got like PlayStations on deck, $1,000, $900, bro. Like it was wild, bro. Like
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, you know. It just kind of sucks. I hope Marco
What
can
ab-
finally get a PS5 this year.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
yeah, man, we gotta get you on that shit. But what
I
about you,
really
Jimmy? What do you
hope
think
he
about
does,
all
bro.
this?
I think this will be a lot of realization for people as to why they should switch to Sony. Real talk.
I think, yeah, I just think that I don't know about you guys, but like the old head in me, video games in general have become this big monopoly. In general,
Huge,
Sony's become a
huge, huge.
monopoly.
Everything
Nintendo,
about video games is about margins now and profits. That's all they
Nintendo,
care.
Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo's as bad as Nintendo are the most greediest, the
Especially
most
Nintendo.
greediest company ever. They mistreat their fans so badly. I saw somebody get like 2 strikes on YouTube because they were making mods in I think it was Pokemon or
Yeah,
something
their
weird,
whole
but
thing is
it
like piracy, bro. Like Nintendo will literally like, if they could, I think they would like nuke somebody for fucking doing mods or like
Yeah.
some
I'm
shit.
glad I'm glad that this deal didn't go through. I think the four of us all agree on that. if this would have gone through this, it would have definitely caused. I feel like this would have been the line that crossed already the ever changing video game industry as a whole for us as fans. It was like, okay, we're already paying an extra $30-$40 for DLCs and all this crap, and on top of that, you have to wait then another year to get another part of the game that's like a side story. You pay $20 for that, and on top of that, you're gonna tell me,
yeah.
then you're telling me now I'm gonna have to play COD on the Xbox only. Like, I just think it would have been this thing where it was like fans would have the backlash would have been so bad, just so bad. It would have been catastrophic.
Yeah, it
Jesus.
probably would have closed down that studio, the Activision studio. Probably would have like not closed down, but it would have been like very close to probably if that deal.
Now I
happened.
wonder now I wonder what PlayStation thinks about that whole how Activision kind of went behind their backs and made this
I
deal
know
happen.
exactly what they think.
Imagine how
But I'm
PlayStation
thinking
feels
it.
for real.
Give everybody a free
I'm
PlayStation
thinking
5.
it. Nah, fuck that.
What do you think?
I know exactly what they're thinking. They're over there saying,
I go to the restaurant.
"Fuck Xbox, fuck Microsoft." That's exactly what they're saying. They won't say it publicly.
Yeah,
But we know exactly what they're saying.
So
yeah.
that any final I think that's we pretty much
topic
covered
is
everything.
what anime characters would you want to be and why?
Yo, hold up, Marco. This is pretty funny right now. Bro.
All right. I'm gonna let you guys go. Go ahead.
Yeah, come on, bro. This guy watches harems, bro. This
What
guy
is that?
watches
Man looks like a villain.
Oh, you watch all these weird fucking animes, but you
Yeah.
can't watch Dragon Ball Z, a classic.
Yo,
bro?
what's this? Hey, what's
Bro,
this
that's
one?
of the last animes I'm gonna watch.
Is it Beast Wars? What is it? No, not Beast Wars.
Why? Just watch it.
Beastars.
Yeah, bro. You watch fucking furries.
That's not
No,
furry.
no.
But you
what's
can't watch
what's
Dragon
what's
Ball
the
Z.
bro? What's the one on
Please,
Netflix
stop,
with the
bro.
deer?
Please.
That's
Beastars.
Beastars.
Yo, what's the? No, Beastars. Yeah, you watch Beastars.
Yeah. But you can't watch Dragon
Boys
Ball
out
Z,
here.
bro.
Oh, that's not a scary show.
Yo, he's out here watching Beastars, bro. I can't even handle that, bro. That shit. I don't know how you don't watch it and get self conscious. How do you not feel like something's inherently wrong with you after watching something
You're
like
watching
that,
a
bro?
fucking rabbit
All I know is
off a
that
wolf
rabbit,
or some
yeah,
shit.
bro, getting real viral.
And the crazy thing is, the rabbit's a hoe. You know that like famous saying, "Oh, that person fucks like a rabbit." The rabbit in Beastars is a hoe, bro.
I think that's how they base
How
it.
exactly, bro? How do you watch shit like that and just be like, yeah, this is normal
That's why he's
to watch?
That's why he has all those weird ass kinks, like girls stepping on his nipples and squeezing them with their toes and shit like that. That's his thing.
Pissing on them and shit. Yeah,
isn't
bro.
isn't it
Yeah.
a good show though? I've never seen it, but isn't it like I'm pretty sure it's like
It's
well reviewed.
ass.
It's ass.
No, it's not. It's controversial. It's ass. People like Jeremy think it's alright, and then they come out with the season 2. He'll be excited to watch it.
It'll be stars.
Look, he's laughing. Look, he's laughing. He looks very. Yeah, and look at the other one, the one in the fucking corner out here, bro. This is funny, bro. Marco's out here in the fucking corner looking like he doesn't even know what the fuck to say.
I've never seen that show. Like I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. I just wasn't. I'm. I just.
Yo,
I looked
Jeremy,
at it. I'm
what'd
never
you-
interested.
Hey, Jeremy, what'd you dress up as Halloween this year, bro?
What am I gonna dress up as Halloween this year?
That's
No. What did you dress up as last year, bro?
that motherfucker in the red suit, bro.
That motherfucker.
He
the
dressed
rest-
up like an anime high schooler, bro.
an anime high schooler from those from Kitty.
Yo, you were mad sweaty too. You were about
Did
to.
you
Yeah,
return that
man,
fucking
bro.
sweater?
You
I
were.
was a shorty,
Turn the
though.
blazer?
Y'all know I look nice though. Y'all know I look fresh.
Yo,
I know
nobody
you did.
understands. This man comes.
Nobody understood.
This
it,
man
though,
comes
bro.
2 hours late to the party, and he's out here sweating. I come back after him only drinking for 30 minutes, and he's out here passed out in his car, just sweating, bro, like a whore in church, bro.
Dude,
It was the funniest thing ever.
So.
Did you ever return the fucking blazer, Jeremy? Or no?
All right. So when Jeremy gets his blazer, Brandon, why Goku?
Or
So
Broly, yeah.
I would say either Goku or the new Broly.
Boy.
Okay. Okay. That's so cool, Jeremy.
Just because of like Goku's like whole thing, like his whole shit. I know people shit on Goku just because like, oh yeah, he's a fucking plot armor, blah blah. Him being a shit dad, sure, he's not the best. Who has always been that guy, you know? Just because like his whole thing is like, oh, I know I could improve. I know like like he gets stronger as he goes. He has that whole like everything is gonna be okay at the end of the day as long as I got my boys with me. As long as I power up, it's kind of like how we live our lives. Like we're all good because we all got each other, and at the end of the day, like we train. You know, like me, Marco, Jeremy, Eric, like we all train at the gym, and we're always getting better. So I would say Goku a million percent just because of that positivity. Like like oh, we're gonna improve, we're gonna adapt. Everything will be great at the end, and hopefully we'll be a stronger version of ourselves at the end of the day. Same thing with Broly. This new Broly, at least the old Broly. He was always hard as fuck as a kid. I was always like, yo, Broly's such a cold character. But I like the whole new like story that they took him with. Like in this new one, they made him canon. They introduced Gogeta also in that movie. And they like instead of having him just as like a powerhouse brute with like no brain, at least now he could like, okay, I'm gonna power up. I will get stronger, and he like learns and he adapts as he fights Goku and Vegeta and shit. And you know, I just like how he has more character in this new one.
Eric,
Yeah.
it's your turn, bud.
Yo, but he just gave us a whole ass thing. We just can't just go Eric. We have to acknowledge what he said.
It was great.
And
I'm so proud of him.
No,
Fucking
actually,
piece of shit.
to be
Proud
honest,
of him. That was
not only do
great.
you have the physique, not only do you have the physique of Goku, I feel like you are the living
I'm built like
embodiment.
Vegeta, if anything.
Eric, what's your anime character of choice?
well, I'm more curious. I want to go to the next one, which is Mr. Harem Boy over here, Jeremy. I want to know if he could be an anime character. Who would he be? Just because Jeremy's is such a
I I hope he doesn't
Jeremy's
become
such an
fucking Jewish
interesting
anime character.
figure, and
Yeah,
he's one of my
Jeremy.
best friends. So I'm really curious to see what he thinks is normal or what he thinks is similar to him.
Honestly, bro, I'm gonna keep it honest with you, 100 with you. I, I'm gonna be so probably basic, but I'm probably gonna go with Naruto.
Deku.
Nah, he picked Naruto. That's respectable, at least.
Those
I
crybaby
was
Deku.
worried that he was gonna say some weird fucking guy, bro.
I've seen how Naruto, from his growth, from when he was a child to being made fun of, being the outcast, being somebody that people resented all because of something that it wasn't even his fault. He was born into that situation. Yo, why are you laughing so hard, kid? Yo, you have such an ugly ass laughing, Mike. He's so ugly, bro. Yo, it's just I'm trying to open myself here, and he's just laughing at my pain.
No,
So
I'm sorry. Restart. So you were saying Naruto.
just
I know you said you like.
it's fine, it's fine. Just like how everybody in the village used to laugh at Naruto, bro. That's how I feel right now. That's why I relate to him so much because from all the times he was made fun of, laughed at, been the outcast in his own village, into something that wasn't even his fault, to becoming literally like the savior of the Hidden Leaf Village, and not even the savior of the world. That really inspires me to just be better every day and be more confident in myself, regardless of if I feel like I'm an outcast or if I feel a certain way negatively towards myself. He's the living embodiment of you can do it, even if you're painted as the villain. You can always be there and save the day and conquer your demons, literally conquer your demons. He had a whole demon inside of him, and he was able to control him and use his powers and work with him together to destroy the biggest threat in the
Uh,
universe, which was
yeah.
Kaguya.
So what about you, Marco? I want to know what you have to say. Actually,
Um, I think I think I'll be.
Bro, garbage ass.
I'll probably be. I'll probably be Griffith
Yeah.
from Berserk.
Nah, bro.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. We have to end this podcast now.
It's over.
Wait,
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah.
I was gonna say either Luffy, but I don't know. I don't want to pick I don't want to pick a really popular character. Like
Remind me like a
Yeah,
chomper.
we're walking out.
You kind of remind me like a chomper, you know?
Chomper.
Yo, what makes you think you're anything like Luffy? Luffy has the IQ of moldy wood.
No, I was gonna pick Zoro, but then I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like everybody's picking a really popular character, so I'm gonna go Isagi. I'm gonna go with the goat. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Blue Lock. Here's why.
You know what? Hey, you know what? Yeah, tell me why, because I agree with this actually.
Cause the motherfucker, he's like, he's using his ego, right? And he's advancing through this like highly advanced soccer facility, and he went from like a good player to like already taking on like high level world players in the manga, and he's so fucking fire. He's advancing so far, and he's low key like he's him. Like in the manga, like obviously like everybody's here. Like I don't think anybody's seen it, but in the manga, like he's doing like really incredible things. He's progressing. He's using his ego. He's getting new abilities. He's talking his shit. I love that. But yeah, I'm gonna go Isagi. Isago.
I think for people that don't know, I find this really funny because this explains Marcos so well. Marcos is one of the most quiet people you'll ever meet, but at the same time, Marcos
Observant.
is a secretly he's an egomaniac, bro.
Yeah.
Secretly, look at him. He's got this thing about him where Marcos has a dog in him, bro. He's
Got that dog in him.
Yeah, Marcos, and what I mean by egomaniac, I don't mean in a bad way. It's just that Marco knows that he could be the shit if he wants to be, but he's not selfish enough to do it. Kind of like you see, and then when there's times for him to be selfish, he'll do it. So I thought that was a pretty funny pick, bro.
Yeah. The goat.
I
Eric.
get this picture. It'll be like the first one.
Eric.
I think mine is pretty basic. I feel like
Oh, I already know. I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier.
Merigo.
it's Ichigo Kurosaki of Bleach, man. I definitely feel like each of us have a character that we all relate to, and Ichigo's definitely mine. I like the fact that he's one of these characters that he has a lot of attitude for a protagonist in a Shonen Jump series. So on top of that, he's one of these people where he just doesn't want to be the good guy. He doesn't want to be a hero. He decides who he wants to save, and he never wanted the responsibility of being a Soul Reaper until he had to save his family and his friends. And I thought that was something that was pretty cool. And I like the fact that he deals with a lot of he's like this person that could be a little bit cocky, but at the same time he has a lot of insecurities, and there's times where he's very unsure of himself because he's always going to try to do the right thing. So he has a lot of attitude.
So what would you?
He's just like me. He's just like Eric for real.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, he's what was I gonna say? So I think this is the round. This is the first episode of the Culture Sac. Obviously, with time, things are gonna get a lot more organized. Things are gonna be a lot more clean cut. You're gonna see us in person with each other in the studio. We just couldn't do it this time just because we're actually going through a little bit of revamping. Yeah, to put it to say the least. So yeah, my name's Eric. This is me
Jeremy.
with. Yeah, this is Marco over here. Marco, say what's up.
All right, so you guys can catch me with my @DCS Marbo. It's on Twitter and TikTok. You guys can follow me there. I also have a YouTube channel simply titled Marbo. This has been a fun first episode for sure. I'm actually really excited for the future of this podcast. I'm excited for a whole bunch of stuff that's coming out that we can talk about and discuss. But yeah, no, this is me signing out.
And go follow my boy shit, bro. Go like, comment, subscribe, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up.
Thank you, Jeremy. I really appreciate
And
it.
hit the bell too.
What did he just do?
Yeah.
Like,
This is Brandon. This is Brandon. I'm gonna be signing out also. Just like Jeremy said, please go follow Marbo. One day, I mean, I will soon be making a YouTube channel also. I know Eric has his, the Puerto Reaper, right?
Yes, the goat.
Yeah.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah. So one day I will be posting, and hopefully, I'll have the content that I want to make, which I think it will be great. But yeah, this is a Bamo from the Culture Sac.
This is Big Germ, everybody.
And thank you for inviting us to your neighborhood.